Storytelling is the most powerful form of human communication, but stories don't need to be extravagant to be powerful. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how stories from everyday life are in fact more effective than spectacular ones. Well, hey there, I'm Brady Shearer from ProChurchTools.com, helping you seize the 167 hours beyond your Sunday service. We publish new videos every single week, so make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and if you like this video, if you enjoy it, make sure you hit the like button also. One of the most famous movie franchises of the last century is Star Wars. And in the first Star Wars movie ever released, Episode 4, A New Hope, there's this iconic scene at the end where the Rebel Alliance, led by Luke Skywalker, successfully blows up the Death Star and lives to fight another day against the evil Empire. And for most of us, when we think about stories, this is what we think about. We think about the cosmic struggle between good and evil, played out on a grand stage with explosions and epic fight scenes. And yet, if we look a bit closer, we can see that what draws us to Star Wars and what makes it a spectacular story is not the explosions or the cosmic struggle between the Empire and the Rebel Alliance, but the internal struggle in the lead characters that we grow to care about. We're introduced to Luke Skywalker at the beginning of the film. At the time, he's living with his adopted family, his friends are going off on adventures, but he's stuck at home on a moisture farm in the middle of a barren desert, middle of nowhere. Star Wars introduces their lead character to us, and we immediately empathize with him, even if he is a little bit whiny. Luke wants more from life. He feels like he lacks purpose. He stares at the double sunset and wonders to himself, is this it? But as the movie goes on, Luke is introduced to a bigger way of thinking. He's not a nobody from nowhere. In fact, he's part of something way bigger than he could have ever imagined, if he's just willing to accept it. And the entire movie is based not so much on this cosmic struggle between good and evil, but the part that you and I relate to most, the internal struggle that Luke is battling. Luke is wondering to himself, could I actually make something of my life? I'm just a nobody from nowhere. Could I really make a difference? And as cliche as that may sound, that's the bedrock for the story of Star Wars. Heck, it's the bedrock for so many stories and movies, countless ones. And the point that I'm trying to make to you is this: you don't need a fight scene, an explosion, or some over-the-top adventure or experience to tell a powerful story. On the contrary, the most powerful stories are the ones that deal with the innermost struggles that every single one of us is forced to deal with. Questions like, is this all there is to life? Am I good enough? Does anyone even care? These types of questions are the starting point for the absolute best stories. One pushback that I get a lot when I talk about storytelling is when people say stuff like, Brady, my life is just boring. I've got no exciting stories to tell, trust me. And when someone says something like this to me, when I hear that, it's usually because their perspective on storytelling hasn't yet shifted. They think the best stories come from these over-the-top adventures or experiences, the type of adventures that exciting people go on, but not a normal person like them. But when you see storytelling not through the lens of an extravagant, over-the-top adventure plot, but instead through the internal struggles happening within each one of us, well, that's when you begin to realize that you have a countless number of stories to share. Just as we all do, because we all share the same human experience. And just like we're wired, right? Just like we're wired to listen and respond to stories, well, we're also wired to share stories with others. So don't be fooled into thinking that Star Wars is all about the epic space battles, lightsaber duels, and the cosmic struggle between good and evil, because at the core of every Star Wars film, at the core of every great film, every great story, is a lead character struggling to figure themselves out, struggling to figure out the world around them. And this is where the most powerful stories take place. And the reason is because it's so familiar to each one of us, because we all have stories to share. And this is why boring stories are also the best ones. If you liked this video, make sure you hit the like button below and definitely subscribe to the Pro Church Tools channel. We publish new videos like this every single week, multiple times a week, helping your church seize the 167 hours beyond your Sunday service. If you've got questions or comments, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.